You might ask yourself, why in the hell am I creating so many videos regarding change, regarding habits, regarding systems that you can build to become more successful and basically build a habit system? Well, it all started with just one book that changed my life. It's Atomic Habits by James Clear. I've been recommending that book to every single person that I know, and even on like my social media accounts, I always post about that book because it literally changed my life. I started reading it and it just felt like it was something that I needed. It felt like something was missing from my life, and it was that book. So before I even started reading Atomic Habits, I always struggled with keeping habits. I always struggled with basically building a habit system and sticking to it. And it was quite hard for me, like anyone else, to change my life because of the fact that, changing your life means you have to build habit system. It means that you need to have habits that are going to change your life, basically. I don't know if that makes sense, but that part of it, creating a habit that lasts long, was just not there for me. So basically, my problem was that I couldn't keep a habit for a long time. It wasn't a drastic change. I usually had the habits for like a month or two, and then I just wouldn't work on it, and I wouldn't do the habit that I had to do in order for me to change my life. And that was the biggest problem and the biggest issue, maybe the biggest challenge that I was facing at that time. And then I read Atomic Habits, which I think I found out about Atomic Habits through Instagram and through all of these book gurus that post about books that you must read, and it was Atomic Habits, and I was like, oh, I want to read that one to just see how it is going to change my life. And it changed it drastically. I learned a lot from that book. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. That book is not a reading book. It's not something that you just read and expect it to change your life. It's a to-do book. See it as that. See it as a to-do book. So read one chapter and just see what it says and do the work. So I read each chapter for like a week and then did everything that was in that chapter, and that the lessons that I learned from that chapter, I basically used them to change my own life. And that's exactly how you need to read it, and that's exactly how I would recommend you to read it. So read one chapter and then do whatever it says for like a week, and then go to the next chapter and then do those things, so you can basically build your life with the book. I read the book Atomic Habits at the end of 2022, which is also the reason why 2023 was basically my year, because I managed to change my life through that book. And I already had a plan on how I want to change it, and also on what habits I want to include in 2023 that I know are going to change my life. So basically, that book was the start of this whole changing journey. And honestly, even if you don't read, just pick that book up and read it. It's the only book that you have to read in your life if you want to change your life and make drastic change in your life. You don't need to read other books, even if you don't like reading, it's completely fine. But that one is a must read. I think I'm going to make every single person that is in my life and that is going to be in my life read that book, because it changed mine, and I know that it's going to change everybody else's life. So just read it. And also, if you have read it, let me know what lessons you picked from it. As I mentioned, there are a lot of lessons that you can learn from Atomic Habits, but there are a few significant ones that have stuck in my mind even now, a year after I've read that book, right? So those are the ones that I think I included on my daily basis, and I still think about them. So that's why I want to mention them in this video, so you guys can already have an idea of what the book is all about and what you can learn from that book. But nevertheless, please pick up copy. It doesn't matter, just do it. It's not gonna cost you that much. Just pick that copy because it will change your life. The first lesson that has stuck with me throughout this whole time is to become the person that already has had that habit, to basically identify yourself as that person. I think I already mentioned this in one of my previous videos. It's the fact that you need to think of yourself of the person that is already doing the habit that you want to do. For example, when it comes to working out and eating healthy, you need to think and basically tell yourself that you're an athlete, and because athletes do eat good, they work out, they're always active, you have to do that as well because you're an athlete. And this is the whole idea of becoming the person that is already doing that. So you need to become the better version of yourself. And with just having the mindset that you are already that person, you will become the better version of yourself. So for example, if you want to learn how to code and if you want to learn coding, then tell yourself that you're already a software developer and that you're developing the skills that you need to. And that way you must study, you must learn the new things, you must code, you must know how to code. So you will get way more motivated to learn to code and just sit down and build project after project, rather than telling yourself that you have to study because of another job or whatever. So have that mindset, especially when it comes to doing hard tasks that you don't feel motivated to do. When it comes to like studying, which I think is a hard task, either you're disciplined to do that because motivation never comes, or working out when the weather is not good and you feel like motivated, just tell yourself that you're an athlete and that you have to do it. Or when it comes to anything else, when it comes to like eating healthy as well. So those are like the tasks that your brain doesn't want to do it, and you're not always motivated to do it. So don't wait for motivation. Just tell yourself that you're already that person that does those things and jump right into it. Especially for a lot of entrepreneurs and people who want to build a business, you need to wake up and tell yourself that you already have that business and act like you are an entrepreneur and that you already have the things that you want and the things that you need. So work on it. That's the mindset that you need to have. So yeah, become the person that you want to be and then do those habits. And this mindset, this idea of becoming that person basically changed my life, because the first time I read it was in Atomic Habits. Maybe you guys have heard it before the book. You've just heard it from me. But yeah, that was like, this idea just basically blew my mind. I'm really sorry if the light changes. I'm filming in natural light and the sun just comes and goes. I don't know what's going on. It's a really cloudy day. But nevertheless, the next lesson that I learned from Atomic Habits is that you don't have to be perfect. You don't have to do it every single day. Even if you just forget one day, it's completely fine. Just don't forget twice in a row, right? For example, if you tell yourself that you're going to work out on Monday, but if you don't feel like working out on Monday, then don't work out. But on Tuesday, if you've already planned on working out on Tuesday, then work out on Tuesday. Don't tell yourself, oh, just because you didn't work out yesterday, you're not also going to work out on Tuesday, because that's the start of a new habit. So one day is completely fine, 2 days are not fine, especially in a row, because that's the start of a new habit, right? So basically the idea is that no matter what you do, no matter what habit you want to build, it's okay to not do it for one day, because you won't feel motivated, or you're just sick, or you whatever it is, you have other things that you need to take care of, that you need to prioritize, that you need to put forward in yourself, right? I mean, we are human, we all have problems, we all have a life to live, and there are just some days that you cannot focus on your habits or on yourself. You have to focus on something else. Or there are days where you just feel way too down and you don't want to do it. It's completely fine. But the whole idea of that is that you can stop your system for just one day, but not 2 days, because if you do it in a row, like back to back, it's the start of a new habit, and you don't want to have that, right? So you want to do it just one day, take a break one day, and then the next day jump right into it. So it doesn't matter if you don't do it one day. Don't feel bad if you don't do it one day, because I used to feel bad if I didn't do like my habits, or for example, if I didn't go to the gym, or if I didn't study for one day, I used to feel really bad, and then it just spiraled and I didn't do it the next day as well. So I was feeling bad about feeling bad. Don't do that. Don't spiral. Just feel okay and feel completely okay with not doing it, and then just move on to doing it. That's basically the whole idea. Another lesson that I learned in Atomic Habits is that you need to set your space up for success. For example, if you want to read before going to bed, then put a book on your nightstand. If you want to work out in the morning, just put your workout clothes on your closet or just take it out and make sure that you have everything set up. I also know people who sleep in their workout clothes just so they can wake up and go to the gym, and because that helps them. But whatever helps you to keep going and just doing the habits that you set for yourself, just do that. I mean, sleeping in your workout clothes is a little bit disgusting, to be honest, but if it helps you, then so be it. Just do it. But what I do is I pick out my clothes at night. So my workout clothes, I just pick it out at night. I also pack my bag at night so that I can just grab it and head out without even thinking. So set your space up for success. Even when it comes to like studying and when it comes to working, have a setup. I have heard of, I don't know who it was, but I've heard that one of the creators, like a YouTube creator, had a studio and they just had to basically push one button and everything would turn on. So basically the studio lights would turn on, the camera would turn on, the whole system would turn on, so they can just go ahead and film right away without any distractions and without any doors in front of them. So that's the whole idea of setting your space up for success. You need to make sure that your surroundings and your house is built for you and built for your system. So just keep that in mind. It doesn't matter what habits you want to add into your system, if it's working out, if it's reading, if it's studying, if it's eating healthy, whatever it is, make sure that your house or that your surroundings, where you live, where you spend your most time in, is already built that way. So it's easier for you and you don't get discouraged. The last lesson that I'm going to mention is the reward system. You need to have a reward system. It doesn't matter what type of system you want to build. It doesn't matter what you want to do, just give yourself a reward system. For example, reward system doesn't mean you get a candy. That's not it. It's just reward for yourself. What you can do is have 2 jars and then put coins in one and put nothing in the other one. And every single time you do a task or every single time you do your system, just take a coin and put it in the empty jar. And then that way you have a little reward system for yourself, and maybe you can spend the money that you have in the jar that you have already done, right? For me, my reward system is this thing there. And it's basically my 12-week habits guide or habits list. And my reward system is ticking it. So basically, I love ticking stuff. Like, I've done it. That's why my to-do list is always really, really long, because I just love ticking stuff. And that's a reward for myself. That's just rewarding for me. So that's why I have it right here so I can see it every single minute in my life and know that I need to tick something and that I get to tick something. And it just feels really, really good, to know that you did something for yourself and that you're building this system and that habit system, that you're achieving things. So that's like my reward system. And it works really, really well for me because I feel good when I tick things. Yeah, that's it. I feel good when I get things done and when I get to tick it. So make sure that you have that type of reward system. Build yourself a reward system because your brain works on that, right? Your brain basically works on cues and your brain works on reward systems. So basically, if something makes you feel good, then you will do more of it. For example, if you work out for 2 hours afterwards, you will feel really, really good, even though before that you didn't want to work out, right? So yeah, build yourself a reward system. There are a ton of ways that you can build a reward system, but it has to be personalized. It has to be something that makes you feel good, because the things that make me feel good, for example, the ticking stuff and getting things done, may not make you feel good, right? So make sure that it's personalized, make sure that it's up to you. Even if you give yourself a candy bar after every single thing that you have done, then so be it. One more lesson that I want to add in this video is habit stacking, because I just remembered it. And habit stacking is basically the idea that you stack your habits. So for example, when you go to work and you want to work out, don't drive home, just drive to the gym. And that's like habit stacking. You drive to the gym and afterwards you go to the grocery store, get healthy food, and then come back home and cook it and make yourself a healthy meal. That's basically habit stacking. So you stack habit after habit. So there are basically your cues. If you're done, for example, with working out, you know that you have to go to the grocery store because you don't have anything in your fridge and you need to cook afterwards and eat healthy. So don't go to McDonald's and eat fast food. Basically, the idea of habit stacking is that you do your habits back to back. So you do one habit and then another one and then another one and then another one. This way you have your cue. So when you're done with one habit, you can do the other one right away. And yeah, this is a lesson that basically helped me build a lot of habits and do a lot of them back to back. Also, my mom told me about this the other day, that she does this as well, even though she hasn't read the book yet. So yeah, keep this habit also in mind, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. And also comment down below what videos you guys want me to film. I would love to know that.